were cordially invited to celebrate the birth of P. Diddy.
He used to toast champagne beside Diddy during Hollywood's most lavish, chaotic nights. So why is Will Smith now in a courtroom, finger raised at his old friend, saying with quiet defiance, "I won't be silent anymore"?
I ain't been nowhere near that man, did none of that stupid shit. So, whenever y'all hear it, if somebody say that, it's a damn lie. I don't even like baby oil.
There was a time when Will Smith and Diddy were nearly mythic, fixtures in Hollywood's most whispered-about circles, their nights a blur of flashing lights, swirling drinks, and the kind of secrets that never saw daylight. Will was there with his son, laughing alongside Diddy, bonded like brothers by a world most never see. But now, inside a cold courtroom lined with solemn faces, Will stands alone, his testimony like bullets tearing through the illusion. What happened to turn his loyalty into confrontation? Is this a feud fueled by ego and betrayal, or a desperate reckoning by a man who's seen too much? As the facade of celebrity crumbles and powerful names begin to tremble, is Will the match that could ignite a wildfire across the industry, or simply another fallen player in a collapsing empire? And Diddy, who once stood untouchable, can he survive the rising tide of exposed truths, or will he fall by the very hand that once raised a glass in his name?
Federal courtroom in New York became the epicenter of global attention as Will Smith, the Oscar-winning movie star, took the witness stand to confront Sean Diddy Combs. Here, Smith's testimony was not merely an accusation, but a nuclear bomb, detonating to expose Hollywood's darkest secrets, a shadowy world where power, wealth, and manipulation have long concealed heinous crimes.
I can't stay silent any longer. Sean Combs isn't human. He's the embodiment of evil, a demon who has manipulated and shattered countless lives, including mine and my son's.
Hollywood is the hurry up and wait game. So I'm running all over the studio. He's not in his dressing room. I go to the cafeteria. I'm like, well, but I see his car there. So I open the door to Dwayne's dressing room, and that's when I see Dwayne and having anal sex with Will. There was a couch, and Will was bent over on the couch, and Dwayne was standing.
The room fell silent as Will's voice cut through it. From across the aisle, Diddy leaned in, eyes narrowed like blades, locked on his former friend. But Will didn't falter. He spoke with cold clarity, each sentence dismantling the empire. Diddy had built in shadows. His words opened the floodgates, revealing horrors buried beneath fame and fortune. He traced their friendship back to the early 90s, when they were both rising, ambitious, hungry. But something changed, he said. That was the year he was ushered into the world few dared speak about, the infamous freak-off parties, where music icons and moguls gathered behind tightly shut doors.
At first, I thought it was a golden ticket. Who wouldn't want to be there? The most powerful players in the industry, multi-million-dollar deals, connections that could reshape a career. I naively believed I was lucky to be chosen by Diddy.
What began as dazzling celebrations soon curdled into something sinister. Will's tone grew more strained as memories surfaced, each one cutting deeper. The freak-off parties, hidden beneath the surface of glitzy white parties, were a different reality. They happened upstairs, or deep underground, behind doors guarded by men who took your phone and your sense of freedom. The air, he said, was thick with unease, as if everyone was playing a role in some silent ritual. Rooms were rigged with hidden lenses, trick mirrors, and lighting that made faces melt into shadows. Will claimed these events weren't just about excess, they were about control, staged performances where Diddy pulled every string.
I saw young girls, some not even 18, ushered into rooms like commodities. They were coerced into taking pills that stripped away their control, all to serve the whims of VIP guests. And there I witnessed celebrities, people I once admired, behaving like predators.
But the turning point, the night that changed everything, came in 2013 in Diddy's Miami mansion. Will and Cassie Ventura, then Diddy's partner, were taken upstairs. I watched him treat Cassie like a possession, Will said, his voice trembling. He hit her. He told her what to do. He tried to drag me into it. Will said he refused, but Diddy's gaze was venomous. He looked at me and said, "Will, this isn't your world to question. You'll follow my rules, or you'll break." Will confessed he was disgusted, not only by Diddy, but by the fact that he had ever let himself be a part of it.
That was so incomprehensible. You know, it was just so, it's hard to understand the level of human.
Will tried to fade into the background, telling himself it was just the cost of making it in showbiz. But the deeper he sank, the more disgust began to fester. Some nights I saw girls dragged behind doors, their eyes blank like their spirits. "We're already gone," he said. Once, muffled crying echoed from behind a locked door. When Will questioned it, Diddy laughed, brushing it off with, "Relax, they're just enjoying themselves." By the close of 2013, Will couldn't take it anymore. He chose to walk away. In a tense one-on-one with Diddy, his voice unwavering, Will said, "I won't be part of this anymore."
I'm a husband, a father. I love Jada. I love my kids. I won't let them be dragged into that world.
Seated in his luxurious chair, Diddy smirked, his eyes slicing through the silence like knives. "You think this is just a clean break, Will?" he said, voice soft but laced with venom. "You're mine. Don't forget that." Will, still, at the top of his fame, dismissed the warning, thinking he was too big to be touched. But he was wrong. The fallout came swift and brutal. By 2015, his once thriving career began to unravel. Blockbusters disappeared, passion projects got axed with no reason, and a storm of vile rumors exploded online. "Will's losing it," they said. "Will's cheating." Some even whispered about his orientation.
Will Smith being gay and having gay relations with, who was it with?
Diddy.
They're both bisexual. They do weird things in their house, and young men have left their house screaming to get away from them in their mentorship. Meek Mills, Bashir Gray, left that house fucking screaming. August the only one that stayed, and I guess he was really sick. He needed a dog.
Every whisper landed like a punch, cracking. Yet Will didn't let emotion carry his testimony. He brought solid proof, evidence, gathered over years. Hidden among it was a USB tucked away since 2013, holding FBI-verified recordings. One chilling clip from 2018 captured Diddy's unmistakable voice.
Will, you know what I'm capable of. Don't force me to release Jaden's video. You want your family safe. Then play.
Next, Will produced surveillance stills from Diddy's LA estate, photos of a secret passageway leading to an underground chamber where young women were confined. Given by a former staffer, the images revealed grim conditions: tight, airless rooms, frightened girls trapped inside. But Will didn't stop there. He handed over 6 videos covertly recorded at the freak-off events. One video showed Diddy commanding a woman to entertain a top guest. "Do it right or you'll never," "Get out!" he barked. Though grainy, the clips exposed a brutal system ruled by fear. Will also shared records. One transaction in 2015 showed $500,000 wired to a Diddy shell company. It wasn't an investment, Will explained. It was hush money to protect my family. Prosecutors backed him up with banking trails, secret party rosters, and more. One document from Bad Boy listed Will as priority confidential under watch. But gasps echoed when a clip from a bodyguard showed handcuffed girls being ushered through the tunnel.
I saw them treated like slaves. Once a girl begged me for help, but I was too terrified to act.
The final blow was the most shattering, another video of Jaden. In it, the teen cried as Diddy's crowd mocked him, splashing liquor while he broke down. "I'll never forgive myself for letting my boy near that monster," Will wept. Diddy's not human. Those damning clips, backed by the FBI, cracked Diddy's defense wide open. Will's revelations didn't stop at the parties. They uncovered a far-reaching empire of bribes, hush money, and manipulation. They called them gifts, Will said, but they were payoffs. He named 3 celebrities who accepted Diddy's silence money. A former hacker also confirmed he'd been hired to erase digital traces, but some files escaped, landing with the FBI. Will detailed the horror of the tunnel, where girls were caged, starved, and degraded. They were told they'd be stars, he said, but were used and discarded. He recalled finding a crying girl no older than 16, begging to be rescued. "I froze," he admitted. "I feared what Diddy would do to my family." Even after Diddy's arrest, Will's family suffered. At first, he tried to stay quiet, hoping to disappear into normal life. He released a public statement cutting ties, praying that would be enough to finally be free.